I mean, it's just insane what's going on here. This is just so this was today. Anti-Trump protesters gather outside the RNC in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I mean, just take a look at it. It's just a lot of people protesting, and they're not united. This is not the face of unity. You got Stand with Palestine, Stop the Genocide. You got Land Back flag, Palestinian flags. I have never seen it. FRSO. I don't even know what that is.
Let's end the homelessness. Let's get rid of the two-party system and build another world, because the U.S. it's necessary here.
End the homelessness. Okay. Start a new world.
Thank you. Because the U.S. Let's get rid of the two-party system and build another world.
Get rid of the two-party system, but all you see here is Stop Trump and racist Republicans. Freedom Road Socialist Organization. Okay, so that's what this is. Freedom Road Socialist Organization. And you want to build another world. We only got one world. I'm sorry to say that, but we can only live on Earth unless Elon finds a cure to go to, or finds a solution for us to go to Mars. We're going to be stuck here. So I don't know what this lady's ranting about.
U.S. it's necessary here.
Okay, the U.S. it's necessary here. Okay, so you still want to live in the United States, but just not under the two-party system.
Thank you.
Just, you got all these LGBT ally people with Palestinian, Saudi kufiya wrapped around their necks and shoulders, but they're socialists.
Thank you so much.
Fight the GOP agenda. Stand up and fight back.
This is what democracy sounds like.
You got Palestinian flags, you got pride flag, you got watermelon, you got land back, you got communists, you got socialists.
This is what democracy sounds like.
Defend and expand immigrant rights. Okay, that's it.
Our streets! Our streets! Our streets!
Leave trans kids alone. Okay.
Our streets!
I mean, see, this is what I mean. I mean, there's just so much going on here. Like, there's no unity here. Like, this is not united. Like, these are competing ideas. This is for a homeland. Palestine is for a homeland that is thousands of miles away. Okay. Then you have immigrants issues, which is 1,000-mile away problem coming onto our shores across our border, crossing our border from Mexico, Canada, which is a separate issue about illegals crossing into the United States. And if we have a need for immigration, then we bring them in legally, document them, get the best and brightest. And that's it. Transgender is a, family issue. There's a whole different issue altogether. I mean, how are these ideas related to each other? I don't understand this. Like, this is crazy.
Our streets! Our streets!
I mean, none of these look like Palestinians, but I guess they're standing up for the cause.
Our streets! Our streets! Our country!
Our country, but not a single U.S. flag there.
Country! Our country! Our country!
Defend women's LGBT and reproductive rights. Okay. So pro-abortion, pro-Palestinian, pro-illegal immigration. I mean, this is just crazy. Crazy. And the funny thing is, you know what the funny part is about all of this? Is if you actually look and study Donald Trump's policies and whatnot, he's actually an isolationist, right? He doesn't want war. When he was in office, I remember Arab countries coming together, forming the Abraham Accord. There was no war going on. In fact, we were getting out of Afghanistan. We were building a coalition with the Arab Muslim world. Not a single American soldier was being killed. There was no sight of war in sight. We were making peace deals and friendly terms with North Korea. And now you have a situation where Ukraine is invaded, Palestine is invaded, and you have domestic issues going on in this country, inflation happening in this country, racist rants going on from, the left about how they're oppressed and whatnot. And all of these people don't realize, this groupthink here does not realize that this is happening of Biden and his incompetency. And yet all of these people are going to still go out there and vote. So they're not united amongst each other. Like, look, all these ideas are different. They all compete with each other. But they're united in their hatred for Republican and Trump. That's what it is. And this person is old enough to remember what 3-4 years looked like. But they're still going to go out and vote for Democrats. I mean, like, the Muslims are in such a pathetic state in the United States. It's just so sad to see that they have no competing ideas. Like, they're not competing on the fact that, hey, let's write a hand letter to our congressmen, senators, and state representatives. Let's deliver it in person. Let's talk. Let's have a photo opportunity, and have these discussions and dialogues. And I mean, there's ways you can market your brand, market your causes. None of this is happening. There's no representation. There's no voice here. This is just hot steam. That's all this is. Just come out here. We're just going to walk on American land, breathe American air, cause all this ruckus, go home, eat an American burger, and sleep on American, made, in our American homes and stuff like that. This is all this is. This is all this is. Nothing more than this. But they're all united in their hatred against Republicans.
Republicans have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. The Republicans have got to go. Hey,
hey. Christians against Trump. Even in this frame right here, you got land back, you got Palestinian, you got, everyone is like, there's clumps of different ideas here. There's not a single party, single mission, single objective that they're trying to achieve here. This is all just, I stand for this cause, you stand for that cause, and then we all hate Trump, we all hate Republicans, so therefore we're going to march out here and just protest about our causes, but that's about it. Like, there's nothing more going on. This is called there's another video by Imam Tom that I want to show you, which is, I think, a great video, and I think a lot of people are waking up to it, and I think it's important to watch that compared to this video where it's just so sad to see because it's pathetic. And look at all of this. Look at all of these flags. Not a single American flag is here. Not a single American flag. I wonder what the comment section looks like. Yeah, brainwashing is strong here. I like that one. Not a single. See? Yeah, I was going through this. Yep. You kids have no idea what you're fighting for. Exactly. Not a single clue. When you argue with a Democrat, that you're just arguing with the TV. Exactly. And the TV can't hear you. Exactly. That's exactly what's happening here. I want to play this video where I think that it is important to see. Let's see how much. Oh, now they're screaming police brutality. Meanwhile, the police is probably out there protecting them, but police brutality. I mean, like silly ideas from silly low QIQ people who are just succumbed to brainwashing and groupthink mentality. This is groupthink mentality at its finest. Yeah, so they're taking turns. Black Lives Matter, but then all these Palestinians.
Black lives, viva, viva Palestina! Viva, viva Palestina! Viva, viva Palestina! Workers of the world!
Yeah. And now watch this video, which I think is important. And finally, I'm glad to see Muslim imams actually taking up this topic and calling out the nonsense, because for too long, I mean, within the Islamic community, that this has been going on where we're just kind of just like one side kind of vision. We're just, like Republicans all bad, Democrats all good. And that's not the case anymore. So I hope this video you find beneficial and helpful. And I'm glad that we're starting to see this trend because it's a one-way street if we don't wake up, and this situation is just going to continue. And I could not even articulate it as well as how Imam Tom did, and I think he did a great job.
The phenomenon of tokenism is the people in power will always attempt to conscript and use Muslims who are willing to compromise their principles in order to save face and say that, well, we're not really against the Muslims. What criteria or demands should we put in place of people who are thinking about becoming officials or elected representatives that would actually mean that their presence wasn't simply just tokenization? So there's a couple, and I'm sure that many of you could come up with your own. One of them is very important, that they have to be accountable to our community. They actually have to be accountable to our community. And that means they need to be funded by our community, and they need to be in our communities, not just show up around election time, not just be given the minbar for free, right? Not just the person who pays or the group that pays. They're paid by the lobbies, they're paid by the political parties to run, and therefore they're not put up by the Muslims, and they have no accountability to the Muslims, so that their agenda is determined by the party. Their agenda is determined by the lobbyists. Number two is that when people go into a position of power, that they have to bring their values, not just their identity. They will always use one of us to control and keep down us. The system, sometimes it will tolerate the diversity of your skin tone. It will tolerate the diversity of your clothing. You can wear a dashiki, you can wear a turban hijab, but it will not always tolerate the diversity of values. As the saying goes in American vernacular, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? That they will find, we remember Colin Powell standing in front of the UN, trying to call for the weapons of mass destruction and justify the invasion of Iraq. We have the U.S. ambassadors to the UN with the assault and bombardment of Gaza that are vetoing the ceasefires, right? We know that they will always conscript one of us. And so we have to be insistent on this, that we demand a diversity of values, that if we come to office or we come to a position, we bring our values with us. Identity politics is an epidemic. And too many people have caught that disease. Too many Muslims have caught that disease.
Yeah.
Have an impact. don't be used. Okay, many people that are Muslims that get involved in politics, they end up themselves being transformed rather than them having a transformative effect. That's backwards, right? We need to make sure that if you're going into politics, that you're going to have an impact. You're not going to be impacted. As a case study, if we're talking about the Palestine issue in particular, what are you going to see now? How is tokenization going to come to you? I'll tell you how tokenization is going to come to you from now to November. Everybody's going to be ceasefire. Everybody's going to say, yeah, we're a pro-ceasefire. Pro-ceasefire is nothing anymore. And I'm not saying it's nothing when it comes to, we want the ceasefire. We want the lives of our brothers and sisters in Gaza to stop being killed at will, as one article said. But all the traitors and the betrayers are going to come with you with ceasefire language. They're not going to talk about ending the Zionist occupation. They're not going to talk about ending the Israeli influence on U.S. law and politics.
There you go. I mean, short-sighted, narrow-minded. There's no long-term game plan goals here. That's what he's trying to get at. And all of these protests, all this does is just short-term satisfaction, ego satisfaction. We did something. It does not provide long-term solutions to anybody, because 70 years from now, other Palestinians are going to be killed and whatnot, and all we're going to be doing is protest, and that's it. So it doesn't solve anything. It doesn't solve anything now. It doesn't solve anything in the future. You don't move the needle. So what did you really achieve?
They're not going to talk about ending the conflation between anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism. They're not going to talk about that. They're going to portray themselves as somebody who is pro-ceasefire and act as if that is some radical position that they're making some big moral stand about. That is nothing anymore if you are somebody who's going to stand up. So Muslims, do not be tricked. Do not be tricked. Do not be tricked. Be aware. Hold these people to account. When Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu got in front of the Muslims and took the bay'ah from the Muslims, what did he say? He said, I am not the best of you. If I go astray, set me straight. And that is the attitude that you should expect and demand from your Muslim representatives and your Muslim politicians. If you go astray, we will set you straight. You can bet on it. Incumbent President Biden, who is participating actively in the genocide of our brothers and sisters in Gaza, as everyone abandons him and his campaign is in a tailspin, and he is being basically told to step down in very public ways by even elected representatives, some people within his party. He is refusing. And this is not a good look for the Democratic Party whatsoever. If we look and remember just back to 2016 and how they handled that election, how they completely sabotaged the popular sentiment and the popular will that was behind Bernie Sanders. They played, dirty games to sideline him and put Hillary forth, and Hillary lost spectacularly in that election to Donald Trump. It looks as if the Democratic Party is heading in the same direction. So the positive is that Democrats are very vulnerable. And as Muslims, we should think about how then we can actually influence that agenda. Okay, is that when they're vulnerable, they're probably more vulnerable to suggestion and being steered than if they're coming from a place of strength. The downside is that people are criticizing Biden and his campaign for simply his mental acuity or lack thereof, as opposed to being guilty of participating in a genocide.
There you go. He said it best. And I agree with him. And we need a lot more of differences and values to be representative. We're not a monolith. Muslims are not a monolith. We're not, everybody thinks the same way. We have different ideas. Some of our ideas, we can agree, some we can disagree, some are better ideas than others. But this notion of you're just shunned from the community because you don't want to just support the Democrats 100%, with just blinders on. It's a ridiculous notion. And to be totally anti-Trump, totally anti-Republican, it just doesn't make any sense. So I'm glad he made this video. It really shows we are slowly but surely moving in the right direction. We need more voices, more representation in this way. And you saw not a single flag. You saw not a single, it's kind of like binary, right? America bad, our value system good. That's it. There's nothing in between. We're not operating in the gray area. Politics, a lot of it is operating in the gray area. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys found this video valuable. I'll keep a lookout for more videos that I can comment on, and I would really appreciate you supporting me. Let me know your feedback, comments, and thoughts, and I would love to hear from you guys. And this is really therapeutic for me as well, just to kind of be here and share these videos and just be a part of the process, really. So thank you guys.